Hey everybody, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. Alright, so I've been trying to think of what to do for you today. I've got kind of a couple of choices every day, what journal should I work in, or what new project should I start. And so I decided today, this has kind of been a work in progress, behind the scenes type of project that is eventually going to make its way to my Etsy shop, hopefully soon. We'll see how far I can get today, but I thought I would kind of finish it up with you guys, and mostly because I'm just not sure where to go next, and so by me filming this, it's going to force me to do that, or figure it out. So, okay, so let me show you what I've got. All I've done so far is I've created 3 signatures. This is going to be a gender neutral journal, traveler's notebook, whatever you might want to call it. And as you can see, featuring mostly Tim Holtz papers throughout, and tea-dyed paper, gorgeousness. Tea-dyed papers, pretty, other than the Tim Holtz stuff, it's pretty plain. And then there are some digital kit papers in here as well. Gosh, I don't know that I'll be able to link those because there's so few and far between. This is from it's from the mixed media paper pad set that I got at Walmart forever and a day ago, and then I tea-dyed that. So, gosh, yeah, I don't remember what digital kit this is from at all. If I can find it and remember, because I've got a lot of them, I will link it. But anyway, so I've got 3 signatures created that are basically just like that, and this one's going to be a naked, undecorated journal. And then beyond that, all I have done is I have this piece of, I think it's suede, but it's kind of thick. And I got it in the remnants section in Hobby Lobby. They have bags of remnants of leather. So it may be, actually it is thick. I think it might be leather, but anyway, this was they sell small scraps, and I didn't know this until I found these, but they also sell larger scraps. So I don't know if I grabbed a bag of a mixture of leather and suede, because I know there's definitely some suede in there that I bought. Anyway, it has been dyed this green color, and this side is not bad, but this side isn't great. It's showing a lot of things that I just don't think I want to show. And so normally, if I was going to make a cover using leather or suede or something like this, I would just keep the other side of it as it is and not bother with lining it. But yeah, it's just not great. I mean, from far away it's not bad, but this isn't very cute. Maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. I might be... I just really don't like how this looks here. So, and there's a reason why it was in the scraps, thing. So, I went ahead, and this is some fabric that I found at Joann's. It's got the Joann mark on it, on the, the end piece of fabric where they have the maker's mark. It's got Joann's on there, and so if you were curious, that is where you would find it. So I thought it works really, really well with these papers, and the actual color of the leather, I'm going to call this leather itself, that I thought, well, let's go ahead and just go with this. So I think my next steps are, I'd like to do some sort of a pocket, at least on this side. I did create a spine because I thought I'm going to do the traveler's notebook style where I put the elastics through. And I don't know over time if this would really hold up super well. It's going to get bendy. And what happens with this thinner leather, because I know I've got my own that I've both bought and created myself. Eventually what happens is the elastic makes it go like this, which I don't really like, and I think it adds pressure to your papers, or whatever papers that you're using, journals, notebooks that you're using in your journal. I think I need to get rid of some more width here. Let me pull this. So I'm kind of at the point now where, and this is veering off here in a weird way, where I need to kind of figure out what I'm going to do next. So, and how I need to construct it in order to finish it the way that I want it to be finished. So, meaning I want to hide the spine piece, so I need to glue that into before I sew. I want to figure out how I want to do a closure, because obviously I've got this wrapping around like this, and before I do all this sewing and gluing, well, I need to glue this fabric to the backing first, and then I got to figure out how I want to do the closure. So I'm not sure if I want to keep it this straight up and down, or if I want to kind of do the thing where it's kind of, actually I think I want to do that, where it's kind of rounded here and then cut away from here. So if I do that, I need to figure that out so I can cut my fabric to match. Oh boy, that's more complicated. I don't know that I want to get that complicated. Or actually, you know what I should do? Okay, I have another idea where I don't have to do all that, and it'll turn out really cool. But I need to do something down here with some leather. And then I also mentioned that I wanted to make some kind of pockets, and now I don't know that I'm going to do pockets on the flap, but I think I could do pockets, either a pocket down here and down here on the front and back covers, and I would use some more of this to do that with. So what am I saying? I think I'm saying what I needed myself to hear. So, see, I told you, is if I turn the video camera on, then it's going to force me to make decisions. Isn't that funny? Well, I guess unless you make videos and put them on YouTube, maybe you don't understand. But for me, that seems to work, I guess. So, let me get a drink here. So, okay, so let me figure this out. I need to pull now, and I've got my fabric, I think, the right size. I don't mind, and actually I kind of like that it peeks out the outside, because I'll be sewing around the perimeter of all this. So let me put that off to the side. So I'm going to focus on now how I want my spine to sit. And so this is just 2 pieces of packaging that I glued together, and then they both had some writing and this kind of stuff on it, and I wasn't sure if that would show through the fabric, so I just covered that one side with this thin packing paper, so that way it would just be neutral. So okay, I need to rewrap this and figure out now. And I'm wondering if this spine isn't too wide, because I think it is. Because I measured, the signatures are about 1 inch, and so I did 1.25 inches for the spine, but now I'm thinking maybe I need to knock that down by about 1/4 inch and just keep it to the inch. So, okay, let me line this up. And I'm going to use my bigger one because it's got grip on the bottom. I don't want this sliding around on me. Let me measure one more time. I'm moving it over here too. It's a little easier for me to cut. I tend to forget that I'm cutting with my right hand and try to keep it centered for you guys, but really what that does is makes me reach over my body to cut, when really what I should do is cut so my arm goes straight back instead of across my body. And actually I do that without filming too, so see, I totally screwed that up. So if you're doing that on your own and you're not sure why your cutting isn't always very straight, maybe that could be a reason why. I know for me it certainly has been the reason. Okay. Yes, I'm taking longer here, but I really, really hate it when I cut something and it's wider on one end than the other. So I'd rather take an extra second or two here. And I follow my rule of not trying to cut the whole thing with one or two passes. I'd rather do several passes with a lighter touch, and then it's a better cut in the end, I've found. So okay, so now we've got a 1-inch spine. I think that'll work a little bit better. Now let me line this back up again. And it's very possible that I did not cut my leather piece super straight either. So I will take that into consideration. Okay, now this will fold over like that. I feel like I'm giving myself a little more room over here than I had before, but I think that's okay because so if I pull this back up and over, yeah, because the width of the spine is going to cause it to do that. So, okay, I think that's where I want it. So now, don't move. I'm going to use my new Sugar Bell bottle for the first time. I've got my Fabri-Tacs in there. I don't know why this is happening. So let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, this is nice. Okay. I get it now. I've been resisting, but I can follow the leaders. It works for a reason. It's nice. I think the trick to Fabri-Tac is keeping your bottle full of glue. I think it seems like once Fabri-Tac gets to a certain level in the glue bottle, that's when it starts bubbling up over the top and you have issues. Okay, so I'm going to very carefully place this as center as I can. I don't know why, but it just doesn't feel right for me to do it this way, but okay, that must be right. Okay, so make sure and get this glued down so it won't go anywhere. And then I'm going to sandwich this in between the leather and the fabric. But before I do that, I need to plan out my pockets because I need to sew my pockets to this fabric before I glue the fabric down to this, and then I can sew around the whole perimeter. Gosh, see, it's complicated, and my brain just wasn't up to the task yesterday. I was just I think done being a problem solver yesterday. So okay, so I can feel now where that is. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this over to, I feel like I'm over off to the side. Here we go. Okay. So make sure I get my fabric lined up correctly because it's not quite straight. I think my fabric is a little wonky here too. Okay. Now, how shall I do this? What I should do is make a template. That would be a smart thing to do. Okay, grab my, I just got some random cardstock here because I don't mind drawing on top of this. My pencil. Okay, so if this is my, whoops, let's draw a straight line. How about that? Okay, so this is gonna be my left line. I don't want it going all the way to that side, so maybe we'll go about that wide. Cut this out. And then I would just use my circle cutter, but I think I want a larger circle than that. So maybe, and it's not like I'd be able to use my hole punch on the leather anyway, so I'm gonna do this. Now, where's my center? It's 2 1/4. Here's my center. So this needs to scoot over about there. I'm sorry if you can't fully see this, but just do this. There. That doesn't look right. Really doesn't look right. Okay, I need a different something to use. What do I got? What do I got? This is on tight, right? Okay, something that's more straight, or that doesn't have a lip. The other thing had kind of a lip. And so I couldn't get my pencil flat to the object. Where's this one? I think I can. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. Now let me put that back up right. Let me cut this out and see how that looks. That'll look good. So here's the edge of my thing, and then this is the other edge, and then this will be my flap. Okay, so now I don't really want to add tons of bulk. The other thing I was thinking was maybe on this side I do a vertical pocket potentially instead of this kind. So maybe I'll just do one of them like that, and then actually I think I want it to be further over. So mark it right there, and then then I'll make a pocket. I've got some more scraps here, so I'll make another pocket from that piece that we just did. Okay, so I'll put this away. Now, I'm going to line this up with a straight line since I know that this one is straight. I did not cut this one. And then there's my first line. Oh, well, isn't that funny? I did it exactly on 2.5 inches. Couldn't have done that again if I tried, huh? Okay, so find. See, this is the thing when you're working with like leather and stuff like that. It's not like paper. It likes to move around. I normally wouldn't use a pencil to do this, but I'm just gonna cut it with my scissors. I probably shouldn't do it that way, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. So, or maybe I can use my. Let me try it this way and see how it goes. See how this works. Might be easier than I think. Actually, it is. It's a lot easier than I thought. Okay. Well, line that back up. Ouch. Since I don't cut super straight, I never have, this is actually a better choice for me. There we go. There's one pocket. I'm going to take off a little bit from the bottom here. It's not quite straight. Now, what do I do with this? Could turn this into another little. I'm going to hang on to this. Okay. So, now I need to create this pocket. I think this piece is from the shoulder, which is why maybe it's kind of not the easiest to work with. So here I have my pieces cut out and ready to go. So before I sew these directly onto the fabric, see that's the back. I want to faux sew a line here and then a line here. And then when I finish, I'll sew the rest of those lines directly onto the fabric itself. But obviously I can't sew these lines wouldn't be after I put them on the fabric, because then it wouldn't be a pocket anymore. So I found, I think this is a pretty strong, I'm hoping this is a strong thread. See, 100% cotton. Well, anyway, this is the thread that I'm going to use. It's a nice kind of pewter gray color. Whoops. Let's put that back together. I didn't know that they came out like that. I don't think I've ever done that before. Yeah, this is a nice strong thread. So This will work really well. It'll probably mostly disappear, and that's okay. But so right now I'm just going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'll show you what I can of that process and just get it all sewn. Okay, so I've got that done. I did a practice shot to make sure I got the right length of stitch for this. I didn't want it to be too tightly. I didn't want it at the regular setting, so I upped it to 3.5, I think, when normally it's 2.5. Because it's a thicker material, and generally when you see sewing on leather, it's further apart because it's hand stitched. And so I was trying to kind of mimic that as much as I could. So I went ahead and did a straight line down this one, super easy. This one, not as much. I got a little wonky down in here, so I had to pull all those out and then redo it. It's still not perfect, but I think it'll do. So I was able to hopefully scratch away the other holes. So now is the time to figure out where we want these to sit on our fabric, and I want to make sure that my fabric is stretched out and in the proper position, or at least the position hopefully that it will be in when I glue it all down. But I don't normally pin, but I'm thinking maybe I will tack via glue here. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue. And I don't have to make it go the whole way, but as long as it just doesn't move around on me, that's all I kind of care about. Yep, I'm liking this bottle. So far, so good. And I like that it's metal tipped too, so it'll be easier to keep clean, and it's not gonna hopefully leak on me like the other one finally did after a while. Okay, so there's that. Now, how close to the spine do I want this? I think pretty close, because otherwise I'm not going to have a whole lot of room to play around with. So go ahead and just glue this down. That way I don't have to worry about it moving while I'm sewing the other thing. So that's right up against the spine. Pull it out just a tiny fraction. Okay. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and sew there, and then sew here, and then I'll come back after that. Alright, so there we go. There's our little inside piece. So now all I gotta do is account for shrinkage and glue it down. Yeah, it did shrink just a little bit. Shoot. Okay. Pull it this direction. So this is gonna be the I think trickiest part. Well, I see here I got this a little bit crooked. So now I'm trying to decide how best to handle that. And I need to make sure that this will be able to open. It's not like it has to close on top of this, but it needs to not be hindered by the pocket here and then. So we want a bit of a gap there. Okay, so I think it's probably about as good as I'm gonna get. I'm kind of looking underneath to see how much clearance. Yeah, this isn't. I'll pull this just a little bit there. Okay. Okay, well, I think I'm going to start on this side and work my way, I don't know, work my way over. And I guess use some of this, because I don't know what other, I'll have to smooth it with my fingers. So I'm just going to have to go a little bit, a section at a time, smooth it with my finger, and bring the fabric back over. So I'll put that on fast forward. Okay, so I just remembered something, and thankfully I didn't do the next part yet because it needs to happen over here. So, okay, let me think through this here, because I needed to sew something else to the front of the journal for the closure. So we'll be about there. Let's see, find something heavy to put. I'm gonna set that there. Okay. So I need something like a strip of this leather. Let's see, let's do about 2 inches. I wished I would have remembered this before I started gluing the inside down, but I'm glad that I caught myself before I got too far. All right, and then let's do about a 1/2 inch tall. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go about right there. I'd like to do eyelets. Let's make sure it's still, yeah, okay. So I'll be right back. Okay. Well, how do I want to do this? Okay, I'm gonna do a little dot of glue so it doesn't go anywhere on both sides. Because I don't want to damage any of this or any of my fabric here. Pull that off to this side. Okay. So another little dot of glue. There we go. Okay. But I want to fasten this for real. Actually, it would be kind of cool if I did a cross stitch, but I'm going to fasten it for real with one of these, an eyelet. So let's see. I want a small one. And this color would be perfect, actually. So let me just do 2 of those. Haven't opened these yet. And the backs are gonna be hidden, so it's not like I need to do a fancy back. Okay. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna have to go get my big one. I'll be right back. Okay, so you know, I resisted buying one of these for the longest time, and every time I have to use it, which really isn't all that often, I'm so thankful that I have it. You just have no idea unless you have one. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta shell out some money for stuff. It's just kind of the way it is, I guess. And that's the case for this one, I think, too. Okay, let me see where I'm poking holes here. Well, I really can't tell. I'm gonna put a circle. Help me out. Okay, so I just flipped it over and I'm just kind of trying to smooth it out from the other direction, hopefully catching any spots I may have missed. Yeah, I need to be careful there so I don't pull it away. You guys, I'm excited for this. So, okay, next step is I need to sew around the perimeters. So I'm going to sew where the spine is. I'll sew around that, but I need to be careful because I don't want to sew directly on top of this cardboard, or I'm going to have a broken needle in a hot second. And trust me when I say that is not fun, because one half of it stays with your sewing machine and the other half usually goes flying, and I've stepped on one of those before in my heel, and that hurt a lot. But before I do all of that, I'm wondering if I shouldn't figure out my closure situation and how that'll happen. So I will have this sitting like this, and this will come around, and now I need to decide what I want to use for my closure. Some leather would be good, and I think what I'll do is just sew it directly onto here. So actually I don't have to worry about that just now. Okay, so normally I would do a perimeter here, but I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I think I'll just do a perimeter stitch here, one for the spine, and then one for the whole rest of this piece. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you. Alright guys, well, that turned out pretty darn fantastic. So we have a finished cover. I was just playing around with the closure, but the cover is done mostly, almost, but not quite. So I do still need to put in some eyelets here, but essentially we're ready almost to go. I went looking back into my leather bits and pieces. So again, from Hobby Lobby, thank you Hobby Lobby for sponsoring this little journaling session. They're not, don't worry, I don't take money from anyone. This was from some more scraps. So what I'm going to do is sew this down right there, and then what you'll do for the closure is wrap it around several times. Yeah, it'll be better. Don't worry. And then I'm not sure if I want to do a charm or if I just want to do a knot. But I'm thinking just a knot because I'm trying to stay simple. So that'll tuck into our little, whatever we want to call this thing is, and make our closure. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bit of glue here to my thingy so it won't go anywhere, and then probably just do like a little square with an X there. So although no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do a bigger eyelet, and that way it'll tie it in. The one thing I'm not loving is the dark brown with the green, but maybe, do I like the dark brown with the green? Maybe I need to go back to the drawing board on that. I don't know. It's the perfect size though, that's the thing. And it's nice and soft. Let me just see what this looks like. Oops. It's a perfect size. It's nice and soft, and yeah, I just wish it was like light gray or white or something instead. Maybe I need to dig a little further. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've found a few choices. So this here came from a jacket, a suede jacket that I was given to go ahead and use to craft with. So this is a piece from that. And then this is some more pieces from the scraps. Now these aren't very soft. But I have a really maybe kind of cool idea. So I'm going to try something with this first before I say yes or no to one of them. So I stuck this down here like this, thinking, well, that's kind of cool. And then I was trying to figure out how I might connect the two. And so I kind of have to use this spot here because I put that glue there. But I thought, well, if I could somehow connect these two with, like, gosh, how would you connect them so that, because it would need to pivot. Really don't know. Where's my pokey tool? So I thought, well, I could at least try this out and see how it goes. They are just so thick. Okay, so that made a hole there. This, I don't mind if I screw this leather up at all. Honestly, I'm not using it ever, so if I screw it up, I'm not going to be too sad about it. And then I'm not going to cut it yet because I don't know for sure. Okay, so how do I line those up? Well, I could use some, maybe if I used an eyelet, it wouldn't, oh, I just had an idea. Okay, I'm gonna use, will that work? I I'm not sure. I'll be right back. Okay, so while I was getting that, I also grabbed some elastic so I can finish the whole thing later. Okay, so the thing that I was thinking might work would be this. So you're supposed to use one of these, but I think an eyelet would be a better choice in this particular case. The thing is, I don't know that this is going to be wide enough to accept an eyelet. Well, I guess I can try it out and see how it goes. I need to use the same one that I used before, which is the smallest kind, so that's good at least. Not gonna be much left over. Huh? Maybe. It might work. Never say never. No, I just gotta get this little... Oh, I need to put this in there first. Okay, thread it through that. Oh, is this too wide for this? Darn it. Okay, well... And this is not going to be thick enough at all. I swear, I take you guys on these wild goose chases. Oh boy. Okay, so that's not really gonna work. I almost need to put like thread through there or something. I think I'm gonna snip this off, and yes, I just did that. It'll be okay. So let's see, I need to find my end. Make that hole as big as I can, because I'm going to have to stick a needle through there with some thread. Okay, grab some thread from my sewing machine. This might take a bit. I might just put this on fast forward. There may be swearing involved. Alright guys, well, I apologize. I had to shut my camera off kind of midway there. My camera was overheating and I had to plug it into the charger. So I tried this. It really didn't work. And I tried real hard on it. But in the end, I'm happier with what I've got here instead. So I think the colors work a whole lot better. So why don't I walk you through what I did here. So all I did was I had a piece similar to this, right? So the whole length of it. And so I just cut a piece that was sort of the same width the whole way, and I didn't worry so much about that. As you can see, it's a little bit thicker here than it is on the end. But really all I did was do that, and then I did a line of glue to help me, and I just folded it over like this all the way down, and then I simply just, and it was sticking because I had the glue there, so I didn't have to worry about pinning it or anything. And so then I just, actually this piece might have been more interesting to use. I just took it to my sewing machine and did a straight stitch all along this edge, turned the corner, straight stitched on the end, and then came back around and just stitched the whole entire thing that way. So I came up with something kind of like this, only a lot longer. This is what was left over. And so from there, all I did was another dot of glue for this end, and I just did a rudimentary kind of square stitch around, and then I did a cross in between. And before I decided to be done, I actually left it long, and I was considering what kind of, if I wanted to do some kind of charm or not, and in the end I decided that I didn't want a charm. Did this? No, it didn't. So I pulled it through here and figured out how much I needed. Yeah, I need to get the signatures in there. They keep shifting around on me. So I just figured out how much I needed, and then I just made a knot. And actually, if it needs to be longer, which it really doesn't, because you can just pull this down like this, and then you've got more length then. I just pulled it, you know, pulled it kind of tight, and there it is. So there we go. And while I was waiting for it to charge, I did punch 3 holes in the top and bottom, and then added eyelets in there. And so really all I need to do now is sew my signatures so that they're okay to be pulled in and out without falling apart, and then add my elastics, and this will be ready to go. So let's take a quick look on the inside again. So you'll have a pocket there, and then these will be your signatures, and then you'll have another pocket back here for more stuff. I think it would be really cool if you had like a nameplate or something you wanted to put there. But anyway, I'll do a final flip through and everything when it's ready and up for sale on my Etsy shop, which should hopefully be in the next day or two. I've got to go back into the office tomorrow for the rest of the week, so I will do my best to get this all finished up tomorrow night, along with, I don't know what else. This junk journal July is killing me. Actually, I might take a day off from that tomorrow and just do another fun video, or get another journal started maybe. I've got a couple of things that I could do. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. This was fun for me, and it was good for me to turn the camera on because I got it finished. So alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.